Dante fights dirty and stabs Dom, causing Dom to fall to one knee. For a moment it seems like Dom may die, but Ronaldo steps in, attacking Dante with fearless precision, refusing to let Dom fall. Together they overpower Dante and Dom rises again with fire in his eyes, finally pinning Dante to the ground. Dom is about to kill him, but he stops, refusing to become the same monster, and instead knocks Dante out cold, proving family gives him strength, not darkness. At the same time Ramsey disables the satellite system, restoring lights to the city and stopping the global collapse. The war ends, the streets calm, and the family survives again. The film closes the way Fast and Furious always closes, with a barbecue, laughter, and family together. Dom, Letty, Mia, Hobbs, Roman, Tej, Ramsey, Han, Giselle, Shaw, and everyone is there, and even Ronaldo's character appears, standing quietly like someone who doesn't know where he belongs. Dom walks to him, gives him a drink, and tells him he fought for family today. Ronaldo looks around at the people Dom calls family and realizes he has never had anything like this. Slowly he nods, and for the first time he smiles, understanding that in Dom's world family isn't only blood, it's loyalty, sacrifice, and standing together no matter what. As engines roar in the distance and the camera pulls away, the story ends with the one truth that never changes. The road is dangerous, enemies will always return, but when you have family you never fight alone. Holding her tight for a brief moment of relief, but victory lasts 1 second, because suddenly a hypercar hits Dom's vehicle from the side and smashes him off the road. Dom crashes hard, smoke rising around him, and when his vision clears he sees the hypercar stop and a man step out calmly. It is Ronaldo's character. Dom is bleeding but still stands up, asking who he is, and Ronaldo answers coldly that he is the one who doesn't lose. He throws a device down, creating smoke and chaos, and disappears, leaving Dom alive on purpose because Dom is not meant to die yet. The final race hasn't begun. Back at the safe house, Ramsey inspects the device and discovers it was also a tracker locked onto Dom, meaning this new rival was sent to hunt him directly. Soon another message arrives with a location and a time, and the words "Final Race," pulling Dom into the neon megacity where the underground racing world is waiting like a trap. The streets glow, the crowds scream, engines roar, and Ronaldo's character stands at the starting line as Dom pulls beside him. Ronaldo reveals Dante promised him freedom if he wins, but Dom warns him no devil gives real freedom. Ronaldo replies that freedom is taken, not given, and the race begins in explosive Fast and Furious style. Cars drifting, tunnel racing, bridge jumps, flaming roads, and insane high-speed control as Dom and Ronaldo race like unstoppable forces. They are perfectly matched, legend versus precision, until the truth is revealed. Dante never planned a clean race. Halfway through, traps activate and explosions tear through the streets, drones descend, and the city becomes a war zone as Dante attempts to assassinate Dom publicly and steal the satellite activation code in the chaos. Dom realizes this was never entertainment, it was an execution, but then everything changes when Ronaldo refuses to follow Dante's orders. Instead of killing Dom, Ronaldo rams Dante's vehicles and saves Dom, shocking everyone. Dom yells asking what he's doing, and Ronaldo replies that he does not take orders from monsters. From that moment the war becomes Dom and Ronaldo side by side against Dante, and the entire crew joins the chaos as Letty fights through flames on her bike, Han drifts through traffic like a ghost, Tej hacks drones mid-chase, Ramsey disables barriers while running, Shaw destroys mercenaries with ruthless precision, and Hobbs fights like a tank smashing enemies with raw strength. The crew survives the city battle, but Dante escapes with the satellite activation code, launching the final phase of his plan. The story then moves to Los Angeles, where Dante activates the kill switch system, plunging the city into darkness as power grids crash, traffic freezes, alarms scream, and chaos spreads like a plague. Dom gathers the family for one last mission and tells them this ends tonight, because if they fail the world will burn tomorrow. The final act becomes total war, filled with insane highway chases, explosions, collapsing structures, and airborne stunts as the family races against time to stop Dante from destroying everything. Dom and Ronaldo chase Dante into a massive tunnel system beneath the city where the final showdown waits. In the tunnel Dante stands smiling like a devil, mocking Dom for still fighting for family, saying Dom already lost the moment he cared. Dom attacks him violently and the fight becomes brutal, punches, blood, rage, pain, until, as Dante's punishment begins, Dominic Toretto finally believes he has found peace after everything his family has survived, but that peace does not last long. One quiet morning near the coast, Dom is working on a car engine while Letty trains outside, and for the first time in a long time it feels like the war is over, until Dom receives a message from an unknown number with only 2 chilling words, "You're next." Before Dom can react, another message follows, this time containing a video of Mia tied up in an unknown location with a ticking timer behind her, and Dante's calm, evil voice promising that Dom's life will be destroyed piece by piece. Dom's face hardens as he whispers that no one touches his family and lives. As Dom rushes to gather his crew, the story introduces a powerful new figure in the Fast universe, Rafael Veloce Cruz, a precision-driven driver known for racing like a machine. Rafael isn't a hero, and he isn't a villain at first. He's a cold, controlled predator on the road who believes true power is never losing control. Standing on a rooftop in a neon-lit mega-city watching underground street races below, Rafael receives a message from a shadow organization offering him freedom if he defeats Dominic Toretto, the legendary driver known around the world. Rafael accepts the challenge not because he hates Dom, but because he wants to defeat the legend and prove he is the best. Meanwhile, Dom reunites with his family, Letty, Roman, Tej, Ramsey, Han, Giselle, Hobbs, and Shaw, who all return when they realize Dante is back and the threat is bigger than ever. In the safe house, Roman jokes nervously as usual, Tej warns that every one last ride becomes another war, and Ramsey uncovers something terrifying. Dante isn't only targeting Dom's family, he has access to a kill switch connected to global satellite systems, meaning he can shut down cities, disable defense networks, and plunge the world into chaos. Hobbs calls it war, and Dom agrees. This time they aren't just racing for survival, they're racing to save the world. The crew tracks Mia to an underground base near a desert highway and launches a rescue mission, but it turns into a deadly ambush when explosions rip through the road and armored vehicles surround them. A furious battle erupts as Dom's team fights through mercenaries while the convoy races at full speed, and in the middle of bullets and fire Dom launches his car onto the truck carrying Mia, climbs on top while it's moving, and fights guards one by one with pure rage as Letty follows on her bike and joins the fight. Dom finally reaches the cabin, grabs Mia, and pulls her to safety, but the moment they think they've won, a hypercar appears from nowhere and smashes Dom's vehicle off the road, sending him crashing brutally into the sand. The hypercar stops and the driver steps out calmly, Rafael. Dom bleeds as he asks who he is, and Rafael replies with cold confidence that he is someone who doesn't lose. He throws a device into the sand, vanishes in smoke, and leaves Dom knowing this new enemy isn't ordinary. Back at the safe house, Ramsey investigates the device and realizes it wasn't just a weapon. It was a tracker meant to lock onto Dom, proving Rafael was sent to hunt him. Dom's instincts tell him Rafael wants more than a race. He wants him personally, and Dom prepares to face him. Soon a new message arrives with a location and a time, and the words "Final Race," pulling Dom into the neon megacity where underground racing controls the criminal world. Under glowing lights and roaring crowds, Dom pulls up beside Rafa with machines. Dom's face turned hard. He knew that voice wasn't a joke. Back in a quiet town far from the city, Dom tried to live peacefully with Letty, but peace never lasts for someone like Dom. One evening, as the sky turned dark, Letty suddenly heard engines. Not one or two, but many. Dom stepped outside and saw black armored SUVs blocking the road from every side. The headlights were bright and angry, but something was wrong. No drivers. The vehicles moved slowly, like they were hunting. Letty's voice shook. "Dom, nobody's inside them." Before Dom could respond, the SUVs attacked like monsters. They rushed forward with no fear of crashing, slamming into walls, spinning, turning, and accelerating like they were controlled by something invisible. Dom jumped into his Charger, the engine roaring like thunder, and he drove through the chaos. Traffic lights suddenly changed to trap him, roads shut down automatically, and more vehicles joined the hunt, appearing from side streets like they had been called. Dom smashed through a narrow path, barely escaping as an SUV hit a barrier and exploded behind him. Smoke filled the streets. Letty looked back, breathing hard. "This isn't normal," she whispered. Dom's voice was deep. "No, this is war." The next day, Dom called his family back together. Roman arrived first with his loud mouth, Tej came with a laptop already open, Ramsey arrived ready to hack anything, and Han came quietly like a shadow. Mia came too, worried but strong. Tej connected to the digital traces from the attack and immediately went pale. "This isn't a gang," Tej said. "It's not a cartel either. Dom, this is global cyber war." Ramsey zoomed into the code on screen. "Someone built a network that controls transport systems. Cars, trains, ships, even planes." Dom didn't blink. "Who?" Ramsey typed fast and found a name hidden behind encrypted layers. Vorik, a former military tech commander, a man who vanished from the world after being accused of building illegal AI weapons. Now he was back, and he had created something called GhostNet, an AI network that could hijack any vehicle in the world, take control of roads, crash cities, destroy economies, and turn every driver into a victim. That night, Vorik proved his power. In 1 hour, major cities fell into chaos. Vehicles started driving on their own. Trucks became missiles. Trains derailed. Bridges collapsed. People screamed on highways as cars accelerated without control. Police tried to stop it, but they couldn't arrest a machine. Helicopters circled above, watching the roads become rivers of destruction. News channels went crazy. World transport collapsed. No one is safe on the roads. Then every screen on the crew's devices turned black. And Vorik appeared in a message, his eyes cold, his smile cruel. Toretto, you ruined my future. Now I will destroy your family and your world. Dom clenched his fists until his knuckles hurt. We end him, Dom said. But as they planned, something went wrong. The moment they moved to attack, their location got leaked. A swarm of drone vehicles attacked them again. Their safe house was destroyed. Flames rose, glass shattered, and everyone escaped barely alive. Roman screamed, somebody snitched. Tej pointed at Roman. You always talking. You probably. Roman yelled back, man, shut up. You're the hacker one. Ramsey stepped between them. Stop. This is exactly what Vorik wants. Family fighting family. Dom's voice cut through them like a blade. Enough. Nobody breaks this family. Not today. They needed answers, and there was only one person on Earth who understood systems like GhostNet. Cypher. Cypher was locked in a high-security prison. She was dangerous, but she was the only key. So Dom and the crew planned the impossible, a prison raid. On the highway, the prison transport was moving like a fortress. Armored trucks, police escorts, helicopters. Dom attacked like lightning. His charger smashed into a guard car, sending it spinning. Letty climbed onto the prison bus and fought guards on top as the bus swerved. Han took out tires with perfect shots. Tej hacked drones mid-air, forcing them to crash like metal birds. The transport flipped. Smoke and sparks filled the road. Dom opened the prison vehicle door, grabbed Cypher's chains and pulled her out. Cypher looked at him and smiled slowly. You missed me. Dom stared into her eyes. You're not family. You're a weapon. And I'm using you. Cypher laughed. Then listen, because Vorik isn't playing a game. He wants full control. And he has one final weapon. She showed them a blueprint. A satellite system above Earth known as the. Cypher explained, if Vorik activates the eye fully, he can control global transport permanently. He will own the roads, Dom. He'll own the world. Ramsey swallowed. How do we stop it? Cypher's smile faded. You destroy it. But it's in orbit. Roman's eyes nearly popped out. Space again? Bro, we just. Dom interrupted. We go. So the family split into two missions. One team went for space. The other team stayed on Earth to hunt Vorik and destroy the mountain base where GhostNet's control core lived. As the space team launched upward through fire and clouds, Vorik activated GhostNet to its maximum. The world became a nightmare. Driverless cars attacked civilians like predators. Highways became slaughter zones. Planes were forced to emergency land. Ports shut down. It was chaos. Dom and Letty drove through it all, saving innocent people, smashing hostile vehicles, and pushing forward toward the mountain base where Vorik was hiding like a king of machines. Inside the base, Dom faced automatic turrets, drones, and robot vehicles. The base fought without humans, everything moving like it had a mind. Dom crushed through walls, rammed steel doors, and destroyed machines like he was fighting monsters. Letty stayed beside him, fearless. Finally, Dom reached the main control room. Vorik stood there in person. Tall, calm, untouchable, like he believed he had already won. He smiled at Dom. You and your cars are nothing, Vorik said. I built the future. Machines don't need family. They don't feel pain. They don't fail. Dom stared at him like a wolf. You're wrong. Vorik pressed a button and the room locked down. They fought. It wasn't a normal fight. Vorik had tech armor, enhanced strength. Dom was pure muscle, pure rage, pure family. They crashed into screens, smashed into metal tables, blood dripping from Dom's lip, but he refused to fall. Vorik grabbed Dom's throat. Family is weakness, Vorik hissed. Dom's eyes burned like fire. Family is why I never lose. Dom slammed Vorik into the control panel and ripped out the main power core with his hands. Sparks exploded. Alarms screamed. The entire base began to collapse. Meanwhile in space, Ramsey and Tej's team reached the eye, but it was trapped. The system was locked with an AI firewall and a countdown started. Ramsey screamed, "We can stop it, but someone has to stay behind to do it manually." Everyone froze. Someone had to sacrifice themselves. Dom heard the shouting through comms while fighting inside the burning base. "Not you," Dom said into the mic, breathing hard. "Not my family." But it was too late. A crew member made the decision and stayed behind. They manually destroyed the eye's core. The satellite exploded in orbit like a dying star, shattering GhostNet forever. On Earth, cars stopped moving on their own. Lights returned to normal. The world breathed again. GhostNet was dead. Vorik, wounded and desperate, tried to escape, but Dom dragged him back. Vorik looked at Dom one last time. "You can't protect everyone," Dom replied. "I don't need to protect everyone. I only need to protect my family." The base exploded behind them as Dom and Letty escaped into the night. Days later, the family gathered around the table. Quiet. No jokes. No loud Roman this time. Because one chair was empty. Dom stared at it for a long moment. Then he spoke softly. "A road ends, but family never ends." They all bowed their heads. Outside, Dom walked to his charger. He touched the hood like it was part of his soul. Letty stood beside him. "Where are we going?" she asked. Dom looked at the road ahead and smiled a little. "Home." The engine roared. The charger drove forward into the night, and the screen faded out as the sound of the car disappeared into the darkness.